Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening to all of you. Welcome to SAP IAG training. So, today we are going to cover integration scenarios in which we'll talk about on-premise integration scenarios first. Before going ahead, let's have a look what all things we have covered till now as a part of this training so that we can have just idea. So, we started with introduction to IAG and in which we covered all these points where we try understanding bit about security, and then we try understanding what is identity and access management and how IAG is helping with risk and governance, what all the component we have in IAG. We also covered positioning of IAG in IEM landscape, so all those basic stuffs we covered as part of this first day of training. And then after that, we started with understanding of SAP BTP. So we covered cloud computing overview, BTP overview. We did walkthrough on BTP cockpit and other stuffs like sub account, global account, directory, Cloud Foundry, Spaces, entitlement, all those stuffs we covered, which is mentioned here as well. We also covered some BTP security aspects, such as authentication and authorization, how it works on top of BTP. After that, we started with cloud identity services, in which we have IES and IPS. So we started with IES and we covered all those aspects of IES. We try understanding what is authorization and trust management, what is identity provider, as IES is identity provider, and we tried integrating IES with IAG and all those role and user groups mapping with IES and IAG, like from IES to IAG using BTP. So that's what all the things we have covered till now. So now we'll jump into integration scenarios, which is today's agenda. And if we talk about integration scenarios, there are two aspects of it. First is on-premise integration, and the second aspect is cloud integrations. And all the on-premise integration happens using cloud connector, and that is the agenda for the day. So today we'll understand what are the integration scenarios we have in IAG, what is a cloud connector, how it is used, and we'll start actually integrating with one of our GRC system or one of ERP systems. So these 4 to 5, these steps, whatever mentioned here, is something is part of the steps which will involve in integration of GRC or any other S4 ERP or ECC ERP systems with IAG. So that's what is agenda for the day. And further, we'll start also do the cloud integrations. So I can just quickly help you with further topics what we'll be covering going forward. So this is what we are covering today. And after this, we'll start with IG integration scenarios for cloud systems, where IPS, which is a part of cloud identity services, will be used as a proxy system and will help us to integrate any cloud application. So we are going to cover IG integration with BTP platform, IG integration with SAP Analytics Cloud, and then also going to understand end-to-end configuration, what we do as a part of IPS proxy. And then after that, our all infrastructure is set now. We'll start core capabilities of IAG, which is your access risk analysis, role designer, access request, access certification, IAG privilege access management, and at the end we'll cover IAG Bridge as well. So let's start with today's session. So let's start here with SAP IAG integration scenarios. So we are going to understand integration scenarios, and we are going to understand what is cloud connector, And so yeah, so let's start. So what all integration scenarios IAG has? So as we can see, we have direct integration via IPS proxy and via cloud connector. What is a direct integration? So IAG has some own integration capabilities directly with other SAP systems like cloud systems. If I take example as a SuccessFactor, so you have a connector available within IAG which allows you to integrate SAP SuccessFactor directly with IAG without having any other capability in between. As we have cloud connector for all on-premise applications and IPS identity provisioning services as a proxy system between if you're going to integrate any cloud system with IAG. So first one is direct integration. Second one, as I did mention, that IPS proxy. So IPS is going to work as a proxy system, and it will help you to integrate any SAP cloud system uh, with IAG. And third scenario is Cloud Connector. So we use Cloud Connector to integrate any on-premise applications, SAP applications. We can just take example as a GRC application or any S4 ERP application or any ECC application. So we have three types of integration in IAG. We can start now with understanding a cloud connector, because as part of today's agenda, we are going to cover on-premise integration and we are going to use cloud connector for that. So let's go ahead and understand what is cloud connector. Okay. So I'm not going to give you very detailed knowledge on cloud connector because that is not part of our training, but yeah, we'll understand what cloud connector is a bit, and we'll utilize the cloud connector which is already configured and installed in our environment, in on-premise environment. Okay, so SAP Cloud Connector serves the link between on-demand application in SAP Business Technology Platform and existing on-premise system. So we have lot of different application running on top of Business Technology Platform, and IAG is one of those. We can take some examples like we have IAG running on top of BTP. We have SAP Analytics Cloud, with SAP Data Sphere, SAP Data Intelligence, SAP PAPM Cloud. So there are lot many other capabilities or applications running on top of BTP. And if you want to connect or integrate those applications with any on-premise existing system, it could be S4 system or ECC system, you have to use Cloud Connector. So Cloud Connector is it's something which is going to help you to achieve that. Okay. And where this Cloud Connector resides. So this Cloud Connector runs as an on-premise agent in a secure network and act as a reverse invoke proxy between on-premise network and BTP. So the cloud connector is going to be on your on-premise environment. It will be installed in the same infrastructure where your on-premise application is installed. So I can show you. So this is our S4 system, and we have a cloud connector available here. Okay, so your cloud connector is going to be in your on-premise environment. Okay, so what actually it does is, so Cloud Connector creates a tunnel. You can say this make sure that your on-premise system is not directly exposed to any cloud environment. So Cloud Connector works as a tunnel, and within that Cloud Connector, you create one connection between your cloud as well as on-premise application, and you allow some of the resources which your cloud application needs from your on-premise system. So it allows you to expose those resources only which are required or which need to be consumed by your cloud application. So that's where the beauty is, it doesn't let any cloud application to access everything what you have in on-premise. Okay, so it it makes sure that the security is in place and there is no security breach. So that's why this works as a tunnel and help you to get data, any maybe user information or any master data or any roles, any details from your on-premise system with a secure tunnel, and let you use only required data and services what you want to utilize from your on-premise system. Okay, so this is a very small overview on a cloud connector. Now we can actually go ahead and start understanding what are the steps involved in integrating any on-premise application with IAG, and we'll also do step by step in system so that we have very good clarity on this. So let's understand our integration scenarios first in one diagram, which will give you overall idea how this integration looks like and what all the steps we have as a part of this integration. So we are trying to integrate our SAP GRC system with our IAG. Okay, so this is our on-premise landscape where we already have GRC system available, and we have a cloud connector configured as well. And here we have a SAP BTP global account in which we have a sub account, and this IAG instance is subscribed within this sub account. Okay, so we can start with the first step. So what the first step says is add the BTP sub account where IAG is subscribed in Cloud Connector. So first step is to add BTP sub account in a Cloud Connector. As soon as you do this, you have a connection created with your sub account in Cloud Connector. Now, what will happen is this is your GRC system, and again you have a ABAP system. So what you have to do as a part of second step, you have to add this ABAP system in this connection you have created. Okay, you can use RFC connection or HTTP. You have available options which you can utilize and add your ABAP system in this cloud connector. Okay, as soon as you add this ABAP system, you have a connection created again with your cloud connector, your backend system, but it is not exposing any resources. So you have to add your resources, which can be OData resources, or there are different resources, whatever we want to expose, we'll add those resources as part of that connection. Okay, so step one is adding sub account in a cloud connector. Step two, adding ABAP system in that cloud connector for that connection. Step number three, to add resources, ABAP system resources, which you want to utilize in IAG. You will add those resources. Now, step four is you have to create a RFC user, which will be a system type user. And why we are creating is this user will be utilized by IAG or BTP to access this system. Because if you want to get a data from GRC, definitely you should have a user, and it will authenticate, it will authorize that user, then only it can access the data. But yes, this user is a system type user, so we have to create RFC user which will be system type and will have all required roles with it which are needed, which we can definitely discuss once we'll do these systems will do in the system. We can definitely have a look at those, and this user will get then utilized to fetch all the data. Okay, now as a part of step 5, we will create a destination. We will create a destination in our BTP sub account. So I can just quickly show you these 4 steps at least on a very high level. So this is my global account, and this is we have a sub account in which we have subscribed this IAG. See, we can see the IAG subscribed here, and this sub account will be added in our cloud connector. So see, we have option here to add a sub account. I'll be supplying all those details, whatever needed, and it'll get added. So that was the first step which I was talking about. And then so then we had this user created, and this user should be used in this destination. So we again have an option here in destination. Come to the sub account and go to the destination, and you can click create a new destination and provide the name and all the details. I can choose basic authentication. One second, basic authentication. See, it's asking user ID and password. So user ID password, this is the RFC user what we have created here will be utilized to create that destination. And once this destination is created, we'll jump into IAG. This is our IAG. We have applications here, and all those integration what you need to perform with IAG, all those applications need to be added here. So we'll add one more application. We'll provide application name. We'll provide description, and we'll select application type. So as we are using, we wanted to uh, integrate GRC access control. So we'll select access control, or if the other on-premise system, we can select SAP ERP. So as soon as we'll provide SAP ERP, it says, hey, provide destination. And this is the destination which we have created here. Okay. So this is the destination what we have created. This will get utilized and the one system will be added in our IAG. Now it will be ready to fetch data from these places. So we have some different jobs within IAG, which will be utilized to fetch data from any on-premise application which has been integrated. So this is, overall, I wanted to make you understand a very high level in our diagram so that when we are doing step by step in the system, you should be able to correlate what is happening and where we have reached and, what all other further steps we need to do. So let's understand doing this in system. So we'll do step by step. So as we can see, we have the first step is to add a sub account in a cloud connector. So let's jump into the system. So so we have this global account and we have the sub account in which IAG is subscribed. And right now, if we go and see in connectivity cloud connector section, you would see there is no connection happening. Okay, there is no connection. There is no connection created with on-premise. So let's go ahead and create the connection. So I'll go to the on-premise system. Okay, and here I will click on add sub account. So it asks some of the details which will fetch from our BTP sub account. So first is reason, second is sub account ID. Okay. So when we go and see here, when we click on this sub account which we are using and which we are adding, we'll see reason is written US East, and this is a AWS Web Services. Okay, and this is the ID we have sub account ID. Okay, so I'll copy this. Here in region, let's go ahead and select the right region. We were having US East AWS, correct? So just scroll down and see where we have US East. Okay, so US East AWS. So we can select this. Sub account ID already had copied. I'll paste it here. Display name, I'll say IAG Integration with GRC. You can put any name as per your understanding, and here I will supply my email ID. So this is the email ID has been used to create this sub account, which will work because I have those roles enabled in BTP, which we already have covered as a part of our BTP sessions. Password, location ID. We can put location ID actually, let's say, okay, so we can cover it later. Okay, so once all these details given, we can save this. We can give any description as per understanding and click on save. So it is processing. So it is adding your BTP sub account or creating connection between your BTP sub account to cloud connector. Okay, so we can see we have added this, and this is IAG integration with GRC. We can see, and if we go and see connected since 19th
April 9:42. It's just some seconds ago. Okay, and we can see all details available here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and see whether there are some details populated in our sub account. So this is our sub account which we connected with our GRC, and if we go ahead and see in cloud connector section, previously we had nothing, but now we have one connection created and it shows there is no backend systems are configured in this cloud connector. It means we have to go ahead and perform the second step. Okay, where we have to add our backend system. So we already have completed first step, which is this one. The next step is to add ABAP system in the connection you have created. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. First, let's see if there is anything available already. So if we see there is no backend system available, there is no ABAP system connected to it. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go into our on-premise system and we need some details. So if I just show you, this is the GRC system which we wanted to integrate. I already have logged in and now I'm in this screen. So we need a host address and port number for ABAP system which is connected in backend. Okay, so we have a transaction code SMICM. As soon as we execute that transaction code, we can click on go to and then click on services. You will find the host address and port number. Okay, so this is where we need to get the details from, and let's go to our cloud connector and then connect this. So see, we are within this system, so we have the same infrastructure where your ABAP system is, and now on-premise environment only I'm going into cloud connector. Okay, so this is the cloud connector we have, and we had created this connection IAG integration. So when I go into this, we have cloud to on-premise option, on-premise to cloud. So we have to choose cloud to on-premise because our target system is on-premise system. Okay, so cloud to on-premise we choose, and now we'll click here to add a backend ABAP system. We have other options. We will use ABAP system because we will add ABAP system. So click on next. Now you have to select the protocol, which protocol you wanted to use. To add a ABAP system, normally we use HTTPS and RFC, these two options we have. We can select HTTPS or you can use RFC as well, but now we are using HTTPS. We can click on next. Now it says it's asked for internal host and internal port, which we have it here available. So what I have done is I have just kept these details in one notepad for my ease. So I'll just copy it and then I will go and provide these details in my cloud connector. Okay. And what is a port? We have this port. So this is a real port and real internal host for the backend ABAP system. We'll click on next. Now it says provide virtual host. So normally what happens if you don't want people to see your actual host and port number, you can just give anything. So I just can give IAG connection with GRC, and any port number you can give whatever you want to, no problem. Okay, okay, sorry. So I cannot have spaces here. Okay, and I can go next. Now it asks me to choose certificate. So normally I don't have much idea on this, what does it means, but yes, normally I use general uses. So I'll click here and then click on next. Use virtual host because I have configured. So I can say, yes, you can use, or you can use internal host or whatever you want, you can choose. Go next. So it'll reflect that. So here, IG, GRC, any description you can give. Click on next. Yes, no problem. We can click on finish. So now our backend system is added, and let's see if it is reachable. If we click here, it says yes, it's reachable. Now let's go ahead and see in our cloud connector whether if we have something available. So see, we have available IAG connection with GRC. This is the the virtual host I gave. If you'll not use virtual host, it'll give you real server host and port. Okay, see, so now we have our ABAP system added. So our step number 2 is completed. Step number 2 is completed where we have to add ABAP system in cloud connector. So now the next step is to add resources to this system which we have added. You can see here the system is added, but it doesn't have any resources allocated to it. So let's go ahead and do the next step. So let's go ahead and do our third step where we will add required resources which we need in IAG, and we'll add those resources in the ABAP system what we have added. So let's go to the system, and here we can see we have this is what connection we had created. Inside this we can see, if we go to cloud to on-premise section where we have added our ABAP system, this is reachable. Now we can add resources to this. Click on add option, and you need to provide the path where like to path to the resources which we want to use or utilize. So I already have copied and kept the OData path available here. Okay, so adding this will expose the OData directory. So this directory, and again you have options here, either only this path or all path and all subpaths available within this path. So you can select which you want to. I would select this, and we can say ABAP OData resources. I will click on save. See, as soon as I added this path, we can see the status is green here. Okay, so this is the third step which we wanted to do, and it has been completed. And let's go and see in our BTP if the sources are visible. And you can see now the connection is complete and now it is green. Till you will not add the resources, it will show like this, but now you have added resources and it shows green. Okay, let's jump into our BTP, and here we go and see within cloud connector we had this connection created. In that we can see system added. Let's refresh this from here. It happens automatically in some interval, but yeah, let's do it manually. We did, and now we see resources are available. Okay, now this connection what is created now will be used in our further steps. So if we go and see in our diagram, we have completed step 3. So as a part of step 4, which we'll do in next session and other further steps, but I can just quickly walk you through on this. So we have to create a RFC user in our GRC system, which will be system type of user, because our BTP or IAG, this complete landscape will act as a system to communicate with GRC. Okay, so we need some roles associated with that user. So let's go ahead and see those aspects. Okay, one more thing. So if you want to integrate any system with your BTP, you should definitely have at least these criteria fulfilled. Okay, then only you can integrate. So we have to create RFC user, and this will be system type of user, and which will be used to log in into your ABAP system, and ABAP backend system for your GRC system, and will be used to fetch data from there. Okay, so that user needs minimum these roles to be assigned to that, so that it can do all required functionality. These are the roles you should assign to that user what you're creating. Okay, after you do that, we have to this user is created. Now we'll create a destination in our BTP. So we have destination section here, and then sub account, go to destination. You have to add this destination, add new destination, and you have to provide all these details, which you'll definitely do in next session. Your destination will get created. As soon as your destination gets created, you will go into your IAG. You will go to in your IAG. So if I just quickly open IAG and I go to applications, so this is the a placeholder where you whatever integration you will do will be available. So applications are application is a tab where you add all the systems that you wanted to integrate, and you can see all those integrated applications. So I just quickly show you, we already have integrated these many systems. Okay, some BTP sub accounts or GRC, ERP, and SAP Analytics Cloud, all those. Okay, and IAS we integrated initially. So I will come and click on add, and I will provide the application name what I want to. I'll provide description, then I'll choose uh, SAP Access Control. This is for GRC. Actually, there is already one. This credit was already created, so that's why it's already there available here. So that's why it says like this. We can choose if I don't have already integrated. External app. Okay, so HCP destination will provide the HTTP destination what we had created here, and then we'll provide further details in this, and then we'll save. This is what we'll do tomorrow. And once this is done, our integration with GRC is completed. After that, we'll start, fetching the data from our GRC to IAG for further use. Yeah. That's all. Thank you so much for today's attending this session, and we'll meet again tomorrow.